We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Connecting the Jamaican diaspora abroad and at home.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Yes, both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
A father sees his son nearing manhood. What shall he tell that son? Life is hard. Be steel. Be a rock. And this might stand him for the storms and serve him for humdrum monotony and guide him among sudden betrayals and tighten him for slack moments. Life is a soft loam. Be gentle. Go easy. And this too might serve him. Brutes have been gentled where lashes failed. The growth of a frail flower in a path up has sometimes shattered and split a rock. A tough will counts. So does desire. So does a rich, soft wanting. Without rich wanting, nothing arrives. Tell him too much money has killed men and left them dead years before burial. The quest of lucre beyond a few easy needs has twisted good enough men, sometimes into dry, thwarted worms. Tell him time as a stuff can be wasted. Tell him to be a fool every so often, and to have no shame over having been a fool, yet learning something out of every folly, hoping to repeat none of the cheap follies, thus arriving at intimate understanding of a world numbering many fools. Tell him to be alone often and get at himself, and above all, tell himself no lies about himself, whatever the white lies and protective fronts he may use against other people. Tell him solitude is creative if he is strong, and the final decisions are made in silent rooms. Tell him to be different from other people if it comes natural and easy being different. Let him have lazy days seeking his deeper motives. Let him seek deep for where he is born natural. Then he may understand Shakespeare and the Wright brothers, Pasteur, Pavlov, Michael Faraday, and free imaginations bringing changes into a world resenting change. He will be lonely enough to have time for the work he knows as his own.
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cats and the cradle and the silver spoon, Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Daddy don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And then he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. Said, I'm gonna be like him. Yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Daddy don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. And you know we'll have a good time then. I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue, the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. And we're gonna have a good time there.
But knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Yeah.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, speak to us of children. And he said, your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable.
that I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. Dad, you know we'll have a good time then. I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. And we're gonna have a good time there. A child arrived just the other day. Came to the world.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We started off this afternoon with a poem entitled A Father to His Son, A Father to His Son, by Carl Sandburg, Sandburg, Carl with a C. Carl Sandburg, A Father to His Son. And musically, we shared with you after that the Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. And then we had for you the wisdom of Khalil Gibran. Some people say Gibran. And we rounded it off with some more from Harry Chapin. You make of it what you will. But that's the combination this afternoon on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. It's still the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 12th day of the 4th month of 2024. And the month of April is still being observed as World Autism Awareness Month, Arab American Heritage Month in the USA, and here in Jamaica, April is Cancer Awareness Month, Farmers Month, Financial Literacy Month, and National Sexually Transmitted Infections Awareness Month. It's Cosmonauts Day in Russia, National Redemption Day in Liberia, and UN International Spaceflight Day, which will give way to Yuri's Night. Hoy es viernes, el 12 de abril 2024. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia.
Follow the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development on Instagram and X at LocalGovJA. The time by the ministry is
2:15.
Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir both sides of the story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est vendredi le 12 avril 2024 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
Borrow the car keys. See you later, Captain, please. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon.
All we're saying is it's Friday, the 12th of April, 2024, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, you've grown up just like me. And the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. And we're gonna have a good time there.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Good afternoon to Valerie Weller-Carpeck. She says, blessed Friday to everyone. To you too, Valerie Weller-Carpeck. Mike Montgomery is offering afternoon greetings. He says, I'm here home watching you live on Facebook along with my wife, brother from Canada, along with his friends, having a good time. Keep up your good work, teacher. You're one in a million. You're very kind, Mike Montgomery. Thank you very much for your message. Violet White, good afternoon to you too, and to the listening audience. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. We hope the same for you, Violet White. Thank you very much for your message. And we look forward to your calls as well on 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. And let's give you an idea of what is to come. We have a few scheduled interviews coming up. So we, as most people would know by now, we are getting deeper and deeper and more entrenched in the technology and the digital apparatus and related matters and so on. And so we are going to be getting some useful information from Wayne Thompson, who has his finger on the pulse of the technology in more ways than one. And we look forward to that interview coming up this afternoon at 3:30. And before that, we'll share with you the whatever updates, useful updates we have on hand, so you too can be made aware of happenings in our space and even outside of our space. So we look forward to that. And we're also going to be previewing the International Realtors Association Conference and Expo, and that is coming up as well. That is scheduled for 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we have no doubt there's more as well, so we'll come back to that. In the meantime, let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. So we're looking forward to speaking with Gabby Grant Gilpin Hudson. She is first vice president of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. So we look forward to hearing from her here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. And just making sure that we have you online when we are ready, so we can stand by for that. In the meantime, here is a quick synopsis of stories that are trending at this time, as shared with us by our friends at the Gleaner. And just to give you an idea of what's trending right now. So here we go. Manchester High School have won Headley Cup. So for those who are so inclined, by all means, cheer on the youngsters. And this is where it all begins. So Manchester High School are the Issa Grace Kennedy Insurance Headley Cup champions as they defeated Mayday High by 139 runs in the final at Manchester on today's third and final day. chasing 290 for victory, Mayday were bundled out for 151, with Manchester's Jade. You know that the period when these children were born, when you see the spelling of their names. And this one, so there's Javed, looks like an Indian name. Javed, and there is Ravon, which is spelled Rhevon, Morgan. And there is Pajay Nelson, Pajay, Pajay. So these are schoolboys doing very well at cricket. So the story is Manchester High are the Issa Grace Kennedy Insurance Headley Cup champions as they defeated Mayday High by 139 runs in the final at Manchester on today's third and final day. Chasing 290 for victory, Mayday were bundled out for 151, with Manchester's Jade, Jahdae, Jade Moore being their main destroyer, picking up 4 wickets for 15 runs. That's quite economical, with support from Ravon Morgan with 3 for 33. Not bad at all. Well done, youngsters. Well done. Scores Manchester 219 and 189, Mayday 118 and 151. All right, let's see if we have any other information that we need to share with you, our faithful listeners, as we get ready to take your calls. Here's a story. Teenage girl, man arrested following gun and ammunition seizure in St. Elizabeth. The police have arrested a man and a teenage girl following the seizure of a firearm and ammunition in St. Elizabeth. The police say, acting on intelligence, they carried out an operation in Brinkley District where a premises was searched. And the story goes on to say, during the search, a revolver with 1 live round was reportedly found hidden inside a toilet tank. They say the man and high school girl were taken into custody pending further investigations. Head of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, Acting Superintendent Coleridge Minto, is commending the search team for their diligence and detail during the operation. So I think, let's see, I think we've just about covered the main stories right now. I think we're going to leave it there for now. And there's a call. Vaz urges witnesses to stabbing of JUTC driver to give information to the police. And Shanika Gray's killer sentenced to life in prison. And at least a dozen killed and an estimated 15,000 displaced by flooding in Kenya. Sorry to hear of that situation. And there's an update on a story of a paralyzed 72-year-old man who fell into a trench at his gate. And then sad news is that he has died. So sorry to hear of this situation. So we have to be so considerate to those of us who have physical challenges so that we can make the necessary corrections of the environment, which would allow these physically challenged Jamaicans to get on with their lives in a safe environment. What a thing.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:30. Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration, known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus. Bag it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this happy we island. So keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica. So make we clean, keep Jamaica clean. Make you listen to me please. No plastic bag, no fear blowing at the breeze. No, proper garbage, disposal, recycle plastic. Now make it pull up in the streets. Bag it and pin it, every rubbish in a pan. No dirty up the place, this happy we island. So keep Jamaica, keep Jamaica. So make we clean. A message from the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
But we'll get together there. You know we'll have a good time then.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to Mikey Sparkle, who I believe is somewhere in Atlanta, Georgia. Good afternoon to you, Mikey Sparkle. Thank you very much for connecting with us this afternoon on both sides of the story. We should greet as well Cherry Henry. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Have a great weekend, everyone. Same to you, Cherry Henry. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Hope you all will have a blessed weekend. We hope so. Thank you very much. Audrey Smith says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners. Tuning in from Southampton. Welcome from Southampton, Audrey Smith. Nicola in Central Jamaica is greeting us as well. Thank you very much, Nicola in Central Jamaica. Good to have you on board. Please keep those messages coming in. In fact, we're going to check that space right now to see what the status is with respect to messages coming through on our text line, which doubles as our WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Let's see what we've got here by going up the line. Quite a few messages. We just need to identify the relevant ones. And when we do, we'll move on from there. Neil Curtis continues his campaign to get potential patrons to buy discount tickets for a fundraiser that is coming up. We hope it goes well. We hope it goes well, Neil Curtis. Thank you for sharing the information. Hello to Ras Asta Black, who just shared a YouTube link with us. Thank you very much, Ras Asta Black. And all the very best to you, Richard. I don't think this is for us. This message is for Althea. So we'll forward to Althea Mackenzie, host of Farm Talk and Power and Glory here on Power 106 FM. So let's see if we can forward this message. It's not budging. Let's see. All right, so let's see if we can get this to Althea right now. Here we go. So check your inbox, Althea. Check your inbox. There's a message there for you. Hello to Sharon Smith of the Hasemati High School, JMANI, the Hasemati Alumni Association New York chapter. Sharon Smith, very, very actively involved. And we wish you all the very best as well, Sharon Smith. Thank you very much for your message. Kevin Galloway, good afternoon. Bishop Douglas Gooden, still keeping us in the mix. And there are a couple of missed calls. But in terms of new messages, not seeing much at this stage, but we're going up the line. That might change as we move up. So we're trying to get to the more current of the messages. Let's see. There's a message here. Oh no, that's the engineers responding to a query. And Rudolph in Stony Hill says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Bless up. The incident with the JUTC bus driver got stabbed because he refused to let him off where he asked for a stop. That is not a bus stop. Is what is going on? These passengers not in the bus stop thing. Anywhere them ask for a stop is where them want driver to let them off. So these bus drivers broke the passengers bad, says Rudolph in Stony Hill. Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Happy Friday to you and your listeners. Clarky Bless, Hunstown, St. Mary. Thank you, Clarky Bless in Hunstown, St. Mary, for your message. And we look forward to receiving many, many more. The numbers, once again, first of all, if you wish to call to participate in the program, both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM, your numbers are 876-922-4115, 876-922-4115, is it 411325? And taking your calls also, and taking your messages as well on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Paul Miles of the eponymous Paul Miles Foundation says, good day, Dervan, and all listeners. Good day to you too, Paul Miles. Are you still in Philly, at home in Philadelphia, or are you elsewhere in the great United States of America? Thank you very much for connecting and keeping in touch, and all the very best to you as you continue to play your part in the development of Jamaica. The only problem I have with you, Paul Miles, is that, which is a good thing, it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's because you have turned down so many interviews to talk about all the wonderful work that you've been doing in the fields of sports, music, what am I forgetting? Sports, music, education. Sports, music, and education. I'm sure he dabbles in other areas as well. But he does remarkable work behind the scenes, and he doesn't want to talk about it. So we have to do some of that talking. And just letting the world know who some of our kind Jamaicans at home and abroad who are playing their part in the development of the country. That is good to know. And let's remind you again, we have a couple of interviews coming up in a little while from now, and we look forward to that. There is the first vice president of the Realtors Association, and we're also going to be speaking with Wayne Thompson, and that will be about technology and how our students are being prepared to take advantage of opportunities already with us and those to come. So you might want to stick around to hear some more on those matters. In the meantime, we continue to take your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Paul Miles has responded. He says, I'm in Philly, Dervan, hoping to see you soon. All right, that sounds like a breaking story. Thank you very much for your message, Paul Miles, in Philadelphia. No doubt revving up for the pen relays and the volume, well, let me put it another way, the hundreds of Jamaicans, friends of Jamaica and everywhere else who will be converging at the Franklin Field Stadium in Philadelphia. So we wish the organizers well as they continue to play their part in that area. Let's see. We have a call coming through on our text line, which is also our WhatsApp number. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM.
Good afternoon, Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Are you having a wonderful day so far?
I'm giving thanks. I'm still here, still giving thanks. And you?
Dervan, yeah, I'm not doing so bad. Dervan, in your, I was going to say in your dream, or do you dream that one day our little country would reach first world standard? We'll move away from this third world reality and move out from developing country to a first world.
Oh yes, the Jamaican dream is keeping us alive, in a sense. Those of us who are praying and hoping and working towards making a better Jamaica. We all want that. I would like to think. Maybe there might be those on the periphery who are not sure they want to be a part of that for whatever reason. But it's a free country, and no one is holding you hostage. But yeah, there's that Stanley and the Turbine song. I'm dreaming of a new Jamaica, a land of peace and love. Yes, we're still dreaming. We're still Jamaica.
So Dervan, what is the gold standard we'll have to try and set. And when we say we as the people and who is in charge of us pertaining to the politician, we as the people and the church and the private sector, what are the gold standard that we are there to try and set as a reality goal?
Well, the moment is pregnant with opportunities. There's no question about that. But and in particular, for example, what is happening now, I'm not sure where they, but the Constitution and the proposed changes and leaving the monarchy and all of that, the moment is pregnant. So the question is, are we ready? Are we prepared? Do we really care about whether we stay where we are, or we want to join hands and hearts together to go a step further? In other words, oops, hold on, let's take the break and come back.
Not today, I got a lot to do. He said that's okay. And then he walked away, but smiled.
246 on Power 106.
Work is a real good meat to eat. Rosy jacket, anyway you do it. It has enough more protein than you think. Enough vitamins and protein. Work is a real good meat to eat. Rosy jacket, anyway you do it. So delicious, nutritious, it's full of B12. And this is the meat is sweet. Pork is a real good meat to eat. Jamaican pork, always a healthy choice. To taste your protein choice. A message from the Jamaica Pig Farmers Association. If you know I'm pop down and enke, you feel one mosquito and run with dengue. So no make water circle in open container. For them to read up under pattern. Them away. Tap them with the zapper and don't use mosquito net and mosquito screen. Protect your household and make them come in. If you know I'm pop down and enke, if you want mosquito and run with them.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Join us for the International Real Estate Conference at Homeowners Expo 2024, April 18th
Can you make that out?
at the Bay Convention Center. Experience 2 days of real estate brilliance on April 18th to 19th at the conference, featuring presentations and panel discussions on all things real estate. On April 19th to 20th,
That's
dive into
3.
everything home at the Homeowners
3 o'clock.
Expo, featuring exhibitions, kids corner activities, demos, giveaways, DJs, and live entertainment. Expo admission is free. For more information, visit irent.rosejamaica.org.
You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. Isn't it sure nice talking to you? And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue, the man of the bone. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when.
Thanks a lot for holding. Yes, I was making the point that the moment is pregnant with opportunities, especially at a time when we're revisiting the Constitution and the monarchy and so on and so forth. An opportunity for us to unite in forging ahead with the development of our country. But it can't happen if all we do is just to talk about it and dream about it, and some might even say plan and scheme about it. But without that, little or nothing will happen.
Dervan, there is 2 words: truth, and reconciliation. Those 2 words.
Well, you're taking me back to some of my earlier, just a moment, you're taking me back to some of my earlier moments of conversation on both sides of the story. Because what's the subject you just raised now? You spoke you just mentioned, oh gosh.
Truth and reconciliation.
Right. I remember when the liberation of South Africa started, and subsequent to that, all that people were happy about, and so on and so forth. But they ensured that they have a Truth and Reconciliation Commission, which is important. That's what they had to sort of ensure that the transition does not involve all kind of voracious behavior and so on and so forth. And I've been saying over an extended period of time, we need a Truth and Reconciliation Commission. Otherwise, people are going to have up people for the rest of their lives to come.
So Dervan, my finger now would be pointing in faces now, Dervan. My finger would be pointing in faces. So Dervan, we have the golden opportunity now of having 3 retired prime minister, 3 living retired prime minister now. And I'm speaking of Mrs. Portia Simpson Miller, and I'm speaking of Mr. P.J. Patterson, and I'm speaking of Mr. Bruce Golding. And I'm saying, can these 3 persons, these 3 living retired prime minister go around a table and ask themselves, or if not, confess to the Jamaican people, have we done enough? Have we done enough to make our Jamaican people the type of people that we are proud? We are a proud nation, but can we go anywhere? Can we go anywhere? Can a Usain Bolt go anywhere and brag? Can a Dervan Malcolm go anywhere and brag about his country and hold his head straight and high and said, yes, we have done it. We have reached the standard. We have reached no. We never have nobody a walk up and down with pan a look water. We never have nobody with pan a walk up and down a look water. For drink because it is constitutional. It is constitutional, our constitutional right to have running water, to life, to live. Is it that we have the proper road to traverse without being in accident every day, to face the carnage on the road? Is it that the school is enough to educate our people that we don't have to get brain drain? We don't have to get brain drain. And is it enough that we Jamaican can, if I am a prime minister, I can stay right here in Jamaica and get the proper health care. No matter how much money you have, you could have be Matalan, you could have be Dervan Malcolm or the Prime Minister, Mark Golden or anybody. Go to the Kingston Public Hospital or any hospital and get the proper health care. That is the standard have been a first world country. These three persons must ask themselves, you are living, three persons, you are still alive. Ask yourself, Miss Portia Simpson. Ask yourself, Mr. Bruce Golding. Ask yourself, Mr. PJ Pattison. Have you done enough for the Jamaican people? Have you done enough? Have you done enough? Have you, please, if you don't done enough, confess to us while you're living. We cannot ask Michael Manley. We cannot ask Edward Siaga. We cannot ask Eula Sashira. We cannot ask no Prime Minister of the past because they are all dead and gone. But you three Prime Minister retired, you're still here. Ask yourself, please, if you have done enough for the Jamaican people. Ask yourself, please, if you have done enough. Nobody not supposed to walk with pan and look water and people are promising them black tank. We now go reach first world standard. Every year you tell me about drought. How can Jamaican have drought and we sit down on water where we are sell people water all over the world? We are sell people water. How can we be an island and we short of water? We cannot be an island unless we're not an island. How can an island? Every mountain, the mountain, them tell us we have water. The mountain, them is bulge, which is bulge with water. Every mountain is water bulged up in the air. We know history. We know. So sometimes when the ship them coming out the harbor, water them come for water. Them not come for nothing else but water. Dervan, the sick and tired. The sick and tired, Dervan. Jamaica need better. Jamaica need better. Jamaica need better. Each time, every year at this time here, each time of the year, the same thing every day. It's an annual thing every day, every year. Water, water, water. Is it that water is the only thing that keep you people in power? Is it water that keep you people in power? Is it the water shortage that keep you politicians in power? If it's the water, we not want it, you know. This is the water that people in power. We not want it. We want something else because we don't have it already. It's just we have to go get it ourselves. We have to go take the water ourselves. Because we are asking us to give you we not make we have to wipe up for month with 1 cup of water and we are dead for thirst in our house. When we are sitting on water, Dervan, have a nice day.
You too. Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, although we'll be pausing a bit and craving your indulgence as we conduct an interview, a preview of the Realtors Association of Jamaica event, which is coming up. And we're going to hear more in a little while, in a matter of seconds, actually. We're going to be hearing from Gabby Grant Gilpin Hudson, first Vice President of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, the RAJ. And we may or may not have another representative, but we'll let you know. But for now, let's take the break. And after the break, we will come back and find out more about the upcoming Realtors Association of Jamaica event.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, and now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can tune in on your mobile phones by dialing 631-359-8281 if you're in the US. And if you're in the UK, you can dial 0330-606-0953. Plus, listen to us on onespotmedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online.
For the ball, man, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today. I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And then he walked away.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we're going to be joined now by Gabby Grant. That's Gabby Grant Gilpin Hudson. She's first vice president of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, the RAJ. She's joining us now to give us an update on the plans for the upcoming Realtors Association of Jamaica event. Good afternoon to you, Gabby Grant Gilpin Hudson. How are you?
Good afternoon, Dervan. I'm very well. I'm very happy to be on the program. I'm a very big Both Sides fan.
I'm humbled to hear you say that. How do I go on after that? Thank you. Thank you very much for those kind words. Right. So let's get straight to it in terms of the Realtors Association of Jamaica. Can you give us a bit of background, first of all, of the Realtors Association of Jamaica?
Sure. So as you know, in Jamaica, we would have persons who are licensed to sell real estate or sell and rent real estate. And those persons be real estate salesmen. Now, persons who have decided to take extra steps of getting the realtor designation, they come and become members of the Realtors Association of Jamaica, and we operate to kind of lobby on important issues affecting the real estate industry, educate our members on best practices and ethics, educate the public about buying and selling real estate, and work with different stakeholders in the real estate industry.
Mm-hmm. And if you could check the temperature of the industry now, what are we likely to find out?
Well, I'm going to say that I think our industry is hot. Jamaica has been lauded for its economic success stories recently in the media, internationally and locally. And I think that has prompted a lot of interest in the market, internationally and locally. And so we thought it was a timely thing for us to come together and put on the second staging of this conference in the second city, Montego Bay.
Mm-hmm. And so you're going to have another one in Mobe?
No, this is the second staging of the event. So we would have had the first one